Its remaining stages will also be proceeded with at that meeting. Members' motion. The Honourable Andrew Leung will move a motion under Rule 49(e)(2) of the Rules of Procedure to take note of 3 items of subsidiary legislation in relation to the Toys and Children's Product Safety Ordinance, which were included in Report Number 15/1314 of the House Committee laid on the table of this Council. According to the relevant debating procedure, I will first call upon the Honourable Andrew Leung to speak and move the motion, and then call upon the chairman of the subcommittee formed to scrutinize relevant items of subsidiary legislation, Ms. Jeffrey Lam, to speak, to be followed by other members. Each member, including mover of the motion, may only speak once and may speak for up to 15 minutes. Finally, I'll call upon the public officers to speak. The debate will come to close after the public officer has spoken, and the motion will not be put to the vote. Members who wish to speak on the button will please press the request to speak button. I'll call upon the Honourable Andrew Leung to speak and move the motion. President, I move that the motion as printed on the agenda be passed. That is in accordance with Rule 49(e)(2) of the Rules of Procedure, so that members can debate on Report Number 15/1314 of the House Committee laid on the table of the committee, and they include 3 pieces of subsidiary legislation: Toys and Children's Safety Additional Safety Standards or Requirements Regulation, Toys and Children's Products Safety Regulation, Repeal Regulation, and Toys and Children's Products Safety Amendment Ordinance 2013 Commencement Notice. Thank you, Chairman. I now propose the question, and that is the motion moved by the Honourable Andrew Leung be passed. The Honourable Jeffrey Lam. President, as chairman of the Subcommittee on Toys and Children's Product Safety, Additional Safety Standards or Requirements Regulation, Toys and Children's Product Safety Regulation, Repeal Regulation, and Toys and Children's Product Safety Amendment Ordinance 2013 Commencement Notice, I report to the Council the deliberations of the Subcommittee. The Toys and Children's Product Safety Additional Safety Standards or Requirements Regulation, or Additional Safety Regulations Regulation, seeks to impose concentration limits on 6 types of phthalates in certain toys and children's products, and to incorporate the matters dealt with in the existing safety regulation CAF 4024B, and then the Toys and Children's Product Safety Regulation will be repealed. The administration also appoints the 1st of July 2040 as the date on which the amendment ordinance comes into operation by means of the commencement notice. The administration has explained that the phthalate control regime as set out in the Additional Safety Requirements Regulation is formulated after drawing references from the regimes implemented in advanced economies, including US, the EU, and Canada. The purpose is to ensure that the regulatory regime of Hong Kong is on par with those in the advanced economies. Members support the imposition of concentration limits on the 6 types of phthalates to safeguard children's health. At the request of the subcommittee, the administration has agreed to draw up guidelines to provide technical guidance on the operation of the Additional Safety Requirements Regulation for the trade's reference. The aspects to be covered by the guidelines may include the scope of application of the Additional Safety Requirements Regulation, illustrative examples showing how a toy or children's product may be considered as can be placed into the mouth, testing methods available, and how testing certificates produced by the trade will be handled. The subcommittee has requested the administration to brief the panel on economic development on the draft guidelines after they have been drawn up. The administration also notes that the additional safety requirements will come into effect on the 1st of July 2014, and a person who manufactures, imports, or supplies a toy or children's product that fail to comply with the additional safety standards commits an offense that is under Section 8 of the Ordinance. In order to strike a balance between enhancing protection of children's health and responding to the trade's concern, the administration has advised that the Customs and Excise Department would during the early stage upon the implementation of the additional safety requirements regulation, advise or warn the persons concerned if appropriate and practicable. The subcommittee has asked the administration to explain clearly to the industry the arrangements upon commencement. Now I'd like to speak in my personal capacity. First, I have the declared interest. I'm shareholders and directors of a number of toy manufacturing companies. I've in the toy manufacturing trade for a number of years. I am familiar with plasticized materials because toys have to make use of plasticized materials. There are different types of plasticized materials, and new formulas keep coming up in the US and EU. They have got regulations on the use of plasticized materials. Hong Kong is going to legislate in accordance with the standards of the EU and US, and I agree to that. During the deliberations, some members are concerned that manufacturers may produce a large volume of products using old materials. I have to stress that the prices of different plasticized materials are very similar. Given the tight cash flow, I believe the majority of manufacturers will not do this. And the Hong Kong toys manufacturers are very responsible traders. They will certainly use up to standard materials for toy production. In fact, producers and suppliers mainly export toys to other countries, and they will make sure they comply with the EU and US standards. The regulations are not going to create a lot of impact on our local traders, so I think they are over-worried. I'm grateful to the members of the subcommittee and also the secretariat and deputations that have expressed their views to us for their contribution and hard work to the scrutiny of the subsidiary legislation. Thank you.
Does any other member wish to speak? If not, then I'll invite the Secretary for Economic and Commercial Development to speak, Mr. Greg So. Yes, Chairman, I'd like to thank the Bills Committee chaired by Mr. Jeffrey Lam for efficiently scrutinizing the regulation, and this is the additional safety regulation. So that's the repeal legislation or regulation, and also the Toys and Children's Product Safety Regulation or Commencement Notice. And I'm also very grateful to Mr. Jeffrey Lam for his remarks supporting the enactment of the subsidiary legislation and the related matters. I believe that we share the same view, and would like to implement the relevant control as soon as possible in order to protect our children's health. As we have said in the past, the present situation
to regulate the 12 specified children's product. The ordinance stipulates that all toys and specified children's products have to meet international safety standards and additional requirements specified in the ordinance. The ordinance also provides that the government can enable regulations to impose additional safety standards on toys and children's products. This system will ensure that Hong Kong's safety standards will align with international standards. And there can be additional safety standards to ensure the safety of our children. And in addition to that, the Toys and Children's Product Safety Regulation for shop provides for requirements on identification, marking of a manufacturer, importer or supplier, and warning on use and storage of the products. Phthalate is a plasticizer commonly used in soft plastic products to improve flexibility and durability. Phthalate has a low acute toxicity. The main concern is chronic exposure orally. Tests on animals show that a chronic exposure of 6 types of phthalates, that is DEHP, DPB, BBP, DINP, DIDP, and DNOP, may have an adverse impact on liver, kidney, reproductive, and growth system. Children always put items in their mouths, so there is a possible health damage by phthalates exposure by phthalates ingested through saliva from sucking and chewing. Advanced economies, including the EU, the US, Canada, and Singapore, have imposed concentration limits on these 6 types of phthalates in toys and children's products that come into close contact with children. To ensure that Hong Kong's regulatory regime is on par with these advanced economies in protecting children and prevent Hong Kong from becoming the dumping ground for non-compliant products, is necessary to impose similar controls. As a result, on the 18th of December 2013, the LegCo passed the Toys and Children's Product Safety Amendment Ordinance 2013 to expand the definition of children's product in the ordinance to cover, in addition to the 12 classes of children's products, other products that are intended to facilitate the feeding, hygiene, relaxation, sleep, sucking, or teething of a child under 4 years of age. In addition to that is to make other amendments to the ordinance to enable regulations to be made to control the concentration of phthalates. Pursuant to the amendment ordinance, we made the additional safety regulation to control the concentration of the above 6 types of phthalates. In summary, the main provisions are: total weight of BBP, DBP, and DEHP in toys or children's products should not exceed 0.1% of the total weight of plasticized materials in the product. Total weight of DIDP, DINP, DNOP in toys and children's products capable of being entirely or partly placed into the mouth of a child under 4 years of age should not exceed 0.1% of total weight of plasticized material in the product. We've taken reference from relevant controls in the EU, the US, and Canada. We've taken into consideration the views of the Bills Committee and from the trade under the Amendment Ordinance. That include the exclusion of packaging material from the control and the exclusion of components part of a toy or children product that cannot come into contact with the child in the calculation of total weight of phthalates. The issues dealt with in the existing safety regulation is also under the scope of additional safety requirement of toys and children's product. For the sake of completeness, we incorporated these issues in the additional safety regulation, so that the trade and the public need only refer to one set of regulation to clearly understand the additional safety requirement of toys and children's products. The provisions in additional safety regulation apply to the supply of toys and children's products as the existing safety regulation. Therefore, the safety regulation will be repealed under the repealed regulation. In the subcommittee meetings, legislators and trade representatives asked whether testing certificates showing compliance with requirements of advanced economies can be deemed as compliance with the provisions on phthalates in the additional safety regulation. We noted the point and will draw up guidelines to provide technical guidance on the operation of the additional regulation for trade's reference. The guidelines may include the scope of application, illustrative examples showing how a toy or children's product would be considered as can be placed into the mouth, testing methods available, and how testing certificates produced by the trade would be handled, etc. As per the request of the subcommittee, we'll report to the panel on economic development once the draft guidelines are ready. In addition, the subcommittee has also suggested that publicity and education be enhanced. We'll work with the enforcement agency, that is the C&E department, and the Consumer Council to publicize the control on phthalates to enhance the understanding of the new legislation by the public and the trade. Say, for example, test purchase of toys and children's products with plasticized material to conduct tests on the content of phthalates in the product for publication of results. We'll also organize talks to brief the trade on the new requirements. We'll organize briefing sessions by visiting childcare centers and kindergartens to help schools and parents to choose compliant products. Considering that manufacturers, importers and suppliers of toys and children's products will need time to comply with the new requirements, the new regulation will commence on the 1st of July 2014. We've consulted major chambers of commerce and children's welfare groups on the proposed commencement date in January. We have not received any objections. I so submit. Thank you.
In accordance with Rule 49E9 of the Rules of Procedure, I will not put any question on the motion, and I will adjourn the Council until 11 o'clock on Wednesday, 16th of April 2014.